Large metro areas, specifically New York and D.C., recognizable names, the World Bank, Prudential, Citigroup, and, of course, the New York Stock Exchange. They're also all in downtown areas that are normally packed on weekdays, which, of course, could cause a lot of personnel damage. All of this coming from interrogations of terror suspects and some extensive review of computer files as well that apparently were caught by investigators. So can the Justice Department already start building a case? We're asking criminal defense attorney Joseph Tacopina and also a former prosecutor and mayor of Englewood, New Jersey, Mcihael. Mayor, I didn't know that. Michael, congratulations.
Many thanks.
Michael, first to you. Now, if I see a guy scouting out my building in New York City, I'm going to call a cop and say, get this guy's number. Is a cop able to do that?
If a police officer has probable cause, absolutely, they will contact the Joint Terrorism Task Force or an intelligence service ultimately, and they will do this. You know, as our nation...
But let me just stop you right there. What if that happened? You and I know that the ACLU would be screaming from the rooftops saying unjustifiable cause or whatever they scream. What's your response to theirs?
The law has changed and evolved as our nation has confronted terrorism, as we try to get comfortable with hampering liberties, so to say, and trying to make sure that we find these guys and their insidious methods of operations. We need to draw the lens back, if you would, on a greater landscape. The fact is that our laws have changed because we've seen through the years terrorists, clerics, diplomats, students who have rooted themselves on U.S. soil under visa statuses and otherwise in ways that our founding fathers never contemplated.
Let me give Joe a chance. So in that sense, the Constitution is outdated, Joe?
Well, David, that's where the tension is here. I mean, look, you have a situation where we all want to be safe and we want to protect ourselves as best as possible. But, you know, in situations like this, the pendulum always seems to swing too far and then sort of work its way back to
some people. But I guarantee, Joe, if there's another terror attack, people will say the pendulum didn't swing far enough.
Well, you know what? I mean, there are people who are terrorists, who are people who just want to kill us and harm us in any way they can, whatever the cost may be. And certainly, you know, trying to weed out those people and root them out with, you know, using the laws is a good thing. No one's suggesting it's not. I'm a former prosecutor. I have children. I mean, I want us to be safe. On the other hand, you know, we don't want to do away with our Constitution. Because, you know, it's cliche, but people will say, then they've won. Right. You know, if we give up our freedom, you know, we've sort of lost what it is that we're fighting for.
But, Mike, if there is another blast, as I said to Joe, you and I know that the question won't be we didn't do enough. The question will be, why didn't we do more? Why didn't we have even a stronger Patriot Act?
I think that this is a balancing act, much like my colleague. I believe that ultimately we have to help law enforcement assess our vulnerability, but do it in a way that does not challenge any of the liberties that we are founded on and are fighting in both Afghanistan and Iraq. The fact is, I just returned from a mayor's conference in Israel. That's a society that has lived under the rubric of terrorism and does it with the proper calibration of both individual rights and getting these guys.
Yeah, it is possible. Mayor Mcihael, good to see you, Mayor.
Pleasure.
Joseph Tacopina, good to see you as well. Coming up, the Amber Alert System undergoing a nerve-wracking test as children disappear in 3 states, all in the space of just a few days. Where and who? We'll get the answers coming up right here on Fox.